I'm begging you. He pleaded, looking pathetic. My family hates her. Tell them I made a mistake. I looked from my ex to the girl from his dream. I just smiled. You said I was just the convenient option. Tonight, your father is presenting me with the Alumni of the Year award. You know that feeling in the pit of your stomach? The one that isn't loud or screaming, but it's just there. A low, constant hum of something's not right. I've had that feeling about a girl in one of my college classes for a while now. Let's call her Jessica. It's not like she was ever mean to me. It was just a vibe. An uncomfortable, gut-level instinct that made me tense up whenever my boyfriend was around her. It started with small things. Little pings on my radar that I tried to ignore. Like the time she cornered him after a lecture. I was waiting by the door, and I saw her walk right up to him. Smiling. Getting a little too close. He looked flustered. Gave a few one-word answers. And then quickly made his way over to me. He brushed it off. But I saw the interaction. It felt deliberate on her part. My stomach twisted into a knot. But I told myself I was being crazy and insecure. Then, a few months ago, we were walking across campus and he just randomly pointed her out. Hey, looks like Jessica got a haircut. He said. I barely glanced over. Before I could even say, oh, okay, he added. Her boyfriend must have broken up with her. So she changed her hair. The comment just hung in the air. My brain tried to process it. How did he even know she had a boyfriend? And why would that be his immediate conclusion? It was such a specific, oddly attentive thing to say about someone who was supposedly just a random classmate. The low hum of anxiety got a little louder. I realized he was paying attention to her in a way I hadn't understood. Last night, that low hum became a deafening alarm. We were just lying in bed, scrolling on our phones. It was a completely normal Tuesday. He turned to me, his face looking oddly serious. I have to tell you something. And it's weird. He started. I had a dream that I kissed to someone else. My heart dropped. The phone in my hand suddenly felt like it weighed 100 pounds. My immediate thought, a flash of pure, hot anger, was who? But before I could even get the word out, he said her name. It was Jessica. Everything went quiet in my head. All those little moments, the conversation after class, the haircut comment, they all came rushing back and connected in one horrible, blinding flash. The first wave was pure hurt. It felt like a physical blow. My instinct was to yell, to cry, to demand how he could even let her into his head like that. But then, a second, colder thought took over. If I exploded, the conversation would be over. Get defensive. Say it was just a dream. And I would never know the truth. My goal, in that split second, became crystal clear. I needed to know why. To get that answer, I had to swallow the fire in my throat and do the absolute hardest thing I've ever done. I took a slow breath, looked him in the eye, and kept my voice perfectly level. The interrogation had to begin. My voice came out steadier than I felt. Okay, I said. The word hanging in the dead air between us. Was it just a random, weird dream? Or is there something more to it? Do you have feelings for her? The question was a grenade. And I just pulled the pin. I watched him, searching his face for the truth, bracing for the explosion. He wouldn't look at me. His eyes were fixed on a loose thread on the duvet cover, as if it held the secrets to the universe. I don't know. He mumbled. My brain immediately rejected that answer. I don't know isn't a real answer. I thought. It's a placeholder for yes. But I don't want to admit it. The calm I had fought for was starting to fray at the edges. But I held on. Pushing harder was the only way through this. What does I don't know mean? I asked. My tone still measured. Either you do or you don't. It's that simple. He finally looked up. His face a mask of misery. I guess I had feelings for her. He put so much emphasis on the word had. As if shoving it into the past tense would somehow make it safe. It didn't work. My mind latched onto it. Had. Like a cold you get over. Like a phase that just ended. It felt like a carefully constructed lie designed to minimize the damage. You had feelings. I repeated the word back to him. So they're gone now. Completely. Again. The shiftiness. The eyes darting away. He was cornered. And we both knew it. He let out a frustrated sigh. I don't know if they're still there. It's confusing. And then, as if the floodgates had just burst, The rest of the truth came spilling out. Look, he said. His voice now rushed. I was going to talk to her last week. I just wanted to, see how she is and stuff. My blood ran cold. This wasn't about a dream anymore. This was about a plan. An intent. He had been actively thinking about reaching out to her. The dream wasn't the cause. It was a symptom of an infection that had been festering for who knows how long. Before I could even process that, he dropped the final bomb of the conversation. I even talked to someone about the dream. He admitted, almost defensively, and they told me not to talk to her. So, not only had he wanted to contact her, but he was already seeking advice about his feelings for her from other people. And he was explicitly told it was a bad idea. Every new piece of information was worse than the last. Each confession felt like another shovel of dirt being thrown on top of me. My goal of getting the truth was succeeding. But I was starting to realize I might not survive what I was uncovering. I just stared at him, my mind a blank slate of white noise. There was nothing left to ask. Nothing left to dig for. He had confessed to the feelings, the intent to act, and the fact that he was keeping secrets. The room was heavy with a silence that felt suffocating. He must have seen the utter devastation on my face, because he scrambled to say something, anything to fix it. What he chose to say, however, didn't fix a thing. It vaporized what was left of my heart. But look, he said, leaning forward and trying to sound reassuring. It's not something you need to worry about. He took a breath, and then delivered the final, fatal blow. The chance of us being together are slim because she doesn't dress decently and she wouldn't be accepted by my family. He said it as if he was presenting a logical, comforting fact, as if this was supposed to make me feel better. My brain tried to process the words, turning them over and over. She doesn't dress decently. Wouldn't be accepted by his family. He wasn't listing reasons why he loved me. He wasn't telling me that I was the only one for him. That a dream was just a dream. He was giving me a bulleted list of her flaws. A practical assessment of why she was an unsuitable candidate. That's when the realization hit me. And it was colder and sharper than any of the confessions that came before it. He didn't choose me. He just disqualified her. Our relationship, his commitment to me, wasn't based on his unwavering love or devotion. It was based on a logistical calculation. I was the safe bet. The convenient option. The girl who dressed decently enough and would get the family's seal of approval. He had weighed his options. And I had won by default. The low hum of anxiety I'd felt for months wasn't just my insecurity. It was my gut screaming a truth I wasn't ready to hear. I was not his first choice. Just his best option. I didn't say anything back. I couldn't. What do you say to that? He's sitting there, looking at me, expecting me to be relieved. And all I can think is that my entire relationship is a lie. He doesn't love me enough to not have feelings for someone else. He just doesn't dislike me enough to go through the trouble of leaving. So now I'm here, sitting on the edge of the bed while he's asleep. The glow of my phone lighting up my face. The whole ugly truth is laid out in front of me. TLDRBF said he dreamt of kissing someone else. Openly admitted he had feelings for her and wanted to talk to her. I asked if feelings are still there and he sounded unsure. His reason for not pursuing her is that she isn't family material. What can I do now? My first instinct was to stay calm and dig. And I did. But now that I have the truth, I feel paralyzed. Do I dig even deeper? Though I'm not sure what's left to find. Or do I even stay? How can I stay with someone whose love for me is apparently just a consolation prize?